I don't like to yell. You know, I hear some announcers that just screech and holler at the tail end of them. You can't make them out. That's not announcing. It's not broadcasting. You don't do that in broadcasting. I don't think you should do it at the racetrack.
Well, I think they get used to me. They know pretty much what I'm going to do, and I know what I expect them to do. But, yeah, they can play on you, or they can have respect for you and do what they're supposed to.
Go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the world of horse racing. Now, before I tell you where we are this week, I have an apology to make, and that apology is to all you thoroughbred racing fans looking ahead to the brand new season. Now, last week I told you the season would open at Greenwood Racetrack in Toronto. Well, that's correct, but what was incorrect was that I told you the date was March 19th. It's March 17th, of course. Again, March 17th, the thoroughbred season opens at Greenwood. And oh yes, keep those cards and letters coming. Now, where we are, in case you haven't already recognized it, is Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John, New Brunswick. They tell me the windshield factor is about 37 below, but what the heck, the show must go on. And let's get the program going by checking out this week's racing news.
The time the world of horse racing was in St. John, New Brunswick was in the summer of '89. Metropolitan St. John has a population of 125,000. It's an industrial area resting on the shores of the Bay of Fundy. St. John is a port for world commerce. It could also be said that St. John is the city that K.C. Irving built. Everywhere in St. John, the Irving family name is evident. The Irving Refinery supplies thousands of Irving gas stations across the Maritimes. Irving owns the 2 television stations, the radio station, and all the daily newspapers in New Brunswick. This along with the St. John bus line and the shipbuilding industry. Exhibition Park is the home of harness racing in St. John, and the track is one of the things not owned by Irving. We'll be back to visit the track in just a few minutes, but first, let's check out this week's driver standings. Race of the week comes from Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John, New Brunswick. It's a 1-mile pace.
Here they come. They're off. Sandfall Bits 4 has the top of the inside. Now Coffee No Sugar takes it back. Coffee No Sugar and then Sandfall. And on the outside, Tweedside Road drives on the third. Twin Bee Lucy, she is fourth. Charlotte's Gem, the fifth. Then it is Troubled Dream. And the trailer is Jet Step as they drive on up the backstretch going to the quarter pole. And it is Coffee No Sugar in command. Has the best of it, a length and a half. Then Sandfall second. Tweedside Road backs off, looks for a haul, and gets it. She goes to the rail, racing third as they go racing by the quarter 32 into the top turn. It is a Coffee No Sugar and Sandfall. Tweedside Road is third. Twin Bee Lucy fourth. Charlotte's Gem, Troubled Dream, Jet Step trails as they come out by the 3/8. They're off the turn now and on through the stretch. Here they come. They're racing to the half. Up front, pacing with the lead, Coffee No Sugar and Sandfall second. Here comes Twin Bee Lucy out from fourth, but Tweedside Road holds a third. Twin Bee Lucy, Charlotte's Gem is on the move, goes quickly to fourth. They were by the half in 4 and 3. Troubled Dream out and moving, and Jet Step trails it around the turn they go. Racing to the 5/8 pole, and Charlotte's Gem bids for the top. Coffee No Sugar keeps it on the inside. Up the backstretch, going to the 3/4. Coffee No Sugar, and on the outside, Charlotte's Gem, neck and nose to nose, and now Charlotte's Gem gets a nose in front on the outside. Coffee No Sugar is second. Sandfall third. Troubled Dream up driving a 4 3/4, 1:36. Round the top turn. Coffee No Sugar by 3 parts of a length now. Charlotte's Gem is second. Sandfall third. Tweedside Road back to fourth. Troubled Dream outside fifth, and they make the turn for home. Pacing with the lead, Coffee No Sugar. Charlotte's Gem coming on again, a hard second. Sandfall is third. It is now Charlotte's Gem grabbing the top, and here they are. Charlotte's Gem, Coffee No Sugar, Sandfall, Troubled Dream, tight between Jet Step and Twin Bee Lucy, and then Tweedside Road. Time for the mile, 2:07 and 1, a driving triple for John Davidson.
He's the dean in the Maritimes. He's been at it the longest as anybody else. So I think he's a good race caller. Keeps us awake when the race is on. That's important.
Here at Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John, New Brunswick. Now, this is our second visit here. When we thought on this visit, we would visit with one of the track's record holders. Now, this record holder is not a horse. He is the track's announcer, and he just happens to have been calling races in this country longer than anybody else.
Well, when I first started coming to race around in the 40s, as far as Ingham goes, he's one of the best there is. Everybody knows him, he's well liked, and he's got a good voice for broadcasting races.
Ingham, he's pretty good. He's been calling races for quite a while. I've been coming here since 1984, and he's been doing them since I've been coming. And I understand he did them for 15, 20 years before this. He's the dean in the Maritimes. He's been at it the longest as anybody else. So I think he's a good race caller. Keeps us awake when the race is on. That's important.
His name is Ingham Palmer, and he's been calling races since 1954. That's 37 years, and nobody has called them any longer. Ingham works as a full-time sportscaster at a local St. John radio station, but twice a week you'll find him at Exhibition Park Raceway fulfilling a boyhood dream.
I grew up in Prince Edward Island, you know, knee-high to a grasshopper over there. And I got my first job as a radio announcer at CKCL in Truro. And for some reason or other, I wanted to call the races. I don't know why. I guess probably my upbringing on the island. And I couldn't get the job at the radio station, so I went to the track. And Carl McKenzie gave me the job. And so I was doing what I wanted to do. Why I wanted to do it, I don't know. But it's been a profitable hobby. It's been a lot of fun. Here they come. They're off. Trusty Bet grabs the top of the inside. Bengal Cobra racing second, and 4 wide. Big Dylan drives on third. Stapliker's in on the rail. Now they're finding out 3 wide as they race around the turn it on the outside. I don't like to yell. You know, I hear some announcers that just screech and holler at the tail end of them. You can't make them out. That's not announcing. That's not broadcasting. You don't do that in broadcasting. I don't think you should do it at the racetrack. I think you can maintain a flow. You start pick it up at the half. You increase it a little bit at the 5/8, and at the 3/4, increase it a little bit. Put a little bit more excitement into it. But don't blow your cool in the home stretch. 4 wide as they come to the line. Trusty Bet on the inside. Glengale Cobra on the outside. It's going to be Trusty Bet and Glengale Cobra. KM Dream tight between Stamplicker and Torrid Star, and tight between I Can Do It and Big Dylan. Time for the mile, 2:10 and 2.
After 37 years, it's obvious that Ingham Palmer enjoys what he's doing. But his real passion is for the horsemen who put on the show week after week.
I tell you that I have to take my hat off to the horsemen and the breeders, because what I have seen over the years is just a tremendous improvement in the quality of horses that our guys are turning out. We have excellent horsemen. You know, I've maintained for a long time that some of the boys from here, from Charlottetown, Moncton, Truro, where have you, they can go to the big time and they can handle themselves well. They've proven that. You know, Callie Rankin at Flamborough, Marcel Barrio, Mike McDonald at Blue Bonnets, Jimmy Doherty, of course, going back to Earl Avery and Joe O'Brien, a lot of them. But we have sent our horsemen away. But the quality of maritime-bred performers, you've got a dandy in Toronto right now, J.K. Beauty, a Canadian seasons champion, all-time champion, 56-1 at that track in Truro last year. It's come a long way. It's come a long way in Ontario. And it's come a long way here.
Ingham, we've got less than a minute before the race. Do you remember way back when you might have had butterflies in your stomach at this point?
I tell you, the time I had butterflies, when I first went to the judges' stand in Truro, the stand was in the center field. And here I am with a microphone for the first time, and a grandstand full of people looking at me. I sort of coaxed myself over to the side. Took a bit of getting used to.
In northward of St. John, Sam Hodge is driving. 7 starters in race 6. Triactor and Quinella wagering is available. They'll take 1 score and go to the gate, and you have less than 3 minutes for wagering.
There's another Palmer in the broadcast booth. He's Ingham's son, Jamie.
He hasn't yet tried to call a race, but he's doing a pretty good job with the post parades and the results and so on. And someday he might grab the mic and the field glasses and try calling a race.
How would you feel about that?
I'd like to see him try it. I kid him about being chicken, and
Sometimes when you're the son of a celebrity, there's pressure for you to be just like Dad. Do you feel pressure to be an announcer and be Ingham Palmer II?
I feel a lot of pressure that way, yeah. Like here at EPR now, I'm doing PA work and that, but as far as announcing the race, it's like, I wonder if people would not compare it to the old man type of thing, that idea, and I just don't feel I could measure up, and I guess it's a matter of confidence, and but I do feel pressure that way, that if possibly if it wasn't him, I wouldn't be as pressured, but it's like, I not only have to be good, but I have to be as good as him, and that's pretty tough to do.
Are you having as much fun today as you were many years ago?
yeah. There are times, after working all day at the radio station, there are times that, I get up at 4:45 in the morning, and maybe a Wednesday night, you're dragging a little bit, and you think, oh, gee, I don't want to go to the track tonight. But you get here, you turn the mic on, and hey, it's a piece of cake. You're a business, you're having fun.
Okay, fellas, we're all ready. Bring them down now. You're on the world of horse racing. Let's make it look good.
You're looking at the starting gate here at Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John, New Brunswick, and for you car fans, this is a 1975 Buick Electra. But as we're about to see, this car carries with it a lot of tradition.
Okay, Charlie. We're underway, fellas. The 2 horse has been scratched. Everybody can move in. Number 2 has been scratched. Everybody moves in.
Dave Nicholson has been the track starter for the last 14 years. A lengthy stretch to be sure, but he's got a long way to go before he catches up with his predecessor. The former starter at St. John was the late Roy Nicholson. He started races for 28 years, and today his son Dave is continuing the family tradition.
Oh, when I first came, I'd just come to the races. He'd drop me off, and I'd be at the grandstand. I might have a nickel or a dime to spend and have a treat, and then a little while later, split tickets with friends, and it was quite a thing. Then I did paddock horses and work as a groom for a little while. I don't know so much wanted to be a starter, but I've been coming to the track with him since I was old enough to walk. He's been around the track here, had been around the track from the early 1950s.
What did you learn from your father as far as starting these races?
The biggest thing he tried to, well, not so much teach me, to tell me that the race is it's a mile long, and you don't take them away at 60 miles an hour. You take them away at 30 miles an hour. That's the good horses and the poor ones.
Okay, fellas, keep them coming. Right up. Stay in there, Chick.
Well, I've been here for 28 years driving. I've driven all those years for his father. And he was a very dedicated starter, same as David.
What is David like? Can you compare David to his father?
Very similar, very relaxed, and very dedicated, again, to doing the best job that he can.
Is this job extra special for you, considering your dad did it for so many years?
I would have to say so. It's, I like to look on it as kind of my inheritance from him, I guess.
Your dad was starting races for 25 years. You're at 15 years.
Yeah,
how long can you go?
14 or 15. I don't know. As long as they'll keep me, probably.
If you have any comments or stories you'd like to share with us, drop us a line at the World of Horse Racing, Post Office Box 284, Station J, Toronto, Ontario, M4J 4Y1.
Canada's maritime provinces are the birthplace of winter harness racing. The Halifax Harness Horse Club had extended pari-mutuel wagering back in 1944 when they raced the horses on the Old North Common in downtown Halifax. Here at Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John, winter racing came along a bit later, but during the late 70s and early 80s, it was the giant of maritime racing, especially during the winter months when fans would wager between 90,000 and 100,000 on the Saturday afternoon cards. EPR has been in the doldrums in recent years with the bet down and the horse population dropping off, but there's been encouraging signs in recent weeks. A new historic agreement between the three New Brunswick tracks, who are all now members of the CTA, allows for inter-track wagering on the Fredericton, St. John, and Moncton races when they're staged at different times of the year. For instance, Moncton will have exclusivity in July, Fredericton will have all the month of September when they race alone. And there's also an indication that in Prince Edward Island, horsemen there are giving serious consideration to joining the CTA. At a time when our country, many feel, may be breaking up, it seems that harness racing is looking for a coast-to-coast image. I'm Doug Harkness.
Well, we're high above Exhibition Park Raceway, and behind me, some of the suburb area of St. John, New Brunswick. Well, that is it for this week. Unfortunately, our trip has come to an end. We want to thank everybody here at the EPR for their hospitality. We hope to be back in the near future, hopefully when it's just a tad warmer. That's it for now, but we'll see you next week for more stories on the world of horse racing.